What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of SpeedSim. My name is Amy.
And I'm E-House.
And today we're going to be taking a look at the Modify XTC PDW. Now, this gun was sent in by Modify to kind of promote it and hype it up, because most people don't really know that Modify actually makes guns.
Yeah, Modify wanted us to promote this gun and also do some testing and evaluation, and we told them how our review process works, so our version of promotion is to tell you exactly what we think about it. So here we go.
Alright, so the overall construction is full metal. It's a full metal body, full metal stock even, because it is a PDW style stock back here. Everything is metal except for the flip up rear iron sights and the magazine.
And the pistol grip.
And the pistol grip, obviously. Everything else is fully metal. Now
actually, the dust cover is plastic.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the dust cover.
Yeah, everyone forgets about the dust cover.
I like this dust cover. Anyways, everything is full metal. Now the paint job on this is actually really nice. It's very matte, flat, black finish. It looks really fantastic. It does feature a really nice, comfortable pistol grip, a flat style trigger, and a 45 canted select fire switch. There becomes one of my first gripes. This is actually pretty loose there. Very loose. You can't really, when you're playing with it or even at the range, you kind of flip these around really easily. I wish you can lock it down more, but it's already at its max tightness.
Yeah, so there needs to be a stronger D10 on the selector switch, especially if it's going to be a 45-degree throw. It's so easy to nudge that into full auto, and if you're in the middle of a semi-auto only game and you nudge into full auto, that could be a little bit of a problem.
Right. Now the battery is housed into the back of the stock. You kind of unscrew it, and I'll let you take it from there because I know how you feel about this.
Yeah, no, the stock is a slight point of contention. It's very solidly built. It's very nice, and in terms of design, as far as PDW stocks go, I like it overall, but I have a couple gripes with it. For one, you can't just fully extend the stock. Like, you know how PDWs are, kind of grab and go. Pull that stock out and go, except now it's free to rotate. You have to be very careful when you're fully extending the stock to not fully extend it. You have to put it to the one short position so that it's still locked in. And, it's got a little bit of play in it, as to be expected from a rod system, but it is very solid. These rods are steel. I don't think you're going to break this stock or anything. The length of pull is, shorter than I usually prefer, but the stock feels nice overall. That said, the battery space is very limited. I like that you can rotate this out of the way. I like a lot of stuff, but the battery space, very, very limited. And by that we mean you are going to be squeezing an 11.1 volt, 1000 milliamp LiPo in here. And when you're tightening this cap down, you're going to be putting pressure onto the wiring and whatnot. It's a really tight battery space. A 7.4 1000 is probably a better battery for this. The wiring is, pretty thin too, so it's good because it's space efficient, but it's bad because you really don't want to crush that too much. The gun is wired to Deans out of the box, which is cool. I wish more guns were. I've converted all my stuff to Deans, so it's a better plug. It works better, so that's nice. But the other thing is I like the threading for the cap on this PDW stock battery space. I like that it's threaded as opposed to like an Allen key on something like the Crytek PDW.
Or like the ARP9 where you just kind of slide it off and then push a little
yeah, it's just like a tab fit. I think the threaded fit is very secure. I don't think you're going to be in danger of losing this part. And also it helps keep crud and water and anything else out of there. And that's very necessary, both because the battery and the fuse, which has no special housing, is just clipped into the wires. That's very necessary to have that kind of protected. And also there is a quick change spring feature in here. So you actually can access your spring guide and change your spring without taking the gearbox out of the gun, which is a cool feature. We haven't messed with it because we've had no reason to. The gun shoots like 1.35 joules out of the box, and we've seen no reason to take it any higher than that, being that it is a PDW. And for the field that we play at, that's perfect.
I mean, quick change spring systems are a little bit of a gimmick. I don't think people use them as much as they think they're going to.
No, I think quick change springs are kind of overrated. I like having gearboxes that have that feature for when I take them apart, just because then they're not under pressure when I'm taking the gun apart. And speaking of that, I'm going to get right into one of my main gripes with this gun in terms of its performance is the gun shoots great. Like, the gun cycles very smoothly, it has great trigger response, it has a really good rate of fire, right around 20 BBs per second, but you cannot get the piston to reset on semi-auto. The gun overspins with every single battery that we have put into it. And the gun doesn't have a MOSFET or anything that I can see. I was actually just looking to see whether or not this gun has an integrated MOSFET, and without taking it apart, we don't know. The XTC Carbine advertises that it has an integrated MOSFET in the gearbox. Nowhere that we can find any information on this gun tells us whether or not the PDW does too. So if it has a MOSFET, that means the MOSFET is not cutting off signal to the motor quick enough to prevent overspin. And if the gun doesn't have a MOSFET, well, then maybe it needs one. Or maybe it needs a different motor, or it needs a different combination of motor and spring. But the gun overspins on semi-auto no matter what you do. It's not like pre-cocking. It's not ending up consistently, and there's no way to disable it or turn it off. The only way to compress, or decompress rather, the spring is to take off the upper receiver so you can see where the piston is ending up and time a full auto burst until the piston is at rest. That's really inconvenient compared to every other analog gun where you just fire a few shots on semi-auto and the thing ends up at rest. You can't make this do that. So you're storing the gun under stress if you just do that, and that's kind of a pain. And there's also no like release on the forward assist or anything, so yeah, that's kind of a pain in my opinion. A little bit of a letdown. However, that said, the rate of fire and the trigger response are very good. And the other thing I want to praise the gun for is it has extremely good stock accuracy and range. Mm-hmm. We were able to make hits on about a 2 foot by 2 foot target at River City's range at a measured 200 feet with 0.3 gram BBs, with the totally stock barrel and hop up and just the slightest bit of holdover. So that's really good.
On a non-windy day.
On a non-windy day. We tried it today, it was a little windier, and we got some hits, but like it kept going left, and then we would adjust and it would go more left because the wind would gust again. But you can make it. So the components of the barrel and the hop-up and the hop-up assembly are clearly all very good. And the compression components in the gearbox are also very good. Because we're getting, FPS consistency in like the 1 and 2 feet per second. I think the biggest jump we had was the first shot we took was like 309, and then all the other ones were 315, 316 with 0.3 gram BBs. So
now keep in mind, with this gun though, you do get modified internal. So all their internal parts that they offer are in this gun.
Yes, so it's very well assembled internally, clearly. Just that one thing with the overspin is, in my opinion, a bit of a letdown. But other than that, like the performance of this gun, we've used this in-game. We didn't take this out of the box and film this review. We've done a lot of shooting with this at the range at River City, and we've also used this in several games at River City. Mm-hmm. I'd say we've probably got maybe 5,000 BBs through this gun, mm-hmm. and so that's what we're basing our opinion on. Other than that, as Amy said, the gun is very solidly built externally, but I have one gripe with the externals. Mm-hmm. Airsoft spec key mod, not real spec beveled key mod, not mil spec. You know my opinion on this. If you're gonna do non-beveled slots, do M-Lock. It's the stronger system than key mod anyway, and it still doesn't cost you anything to license it. Just do M-Lock, please. That's just better if you're gonna do anything.
Now, moving along, though, with the gun, you do get a 120-round mid-capacity magazine, and that becomes one of our next gripes, is to insert the magazine, you can't be ginger with it. You really got to slap it in there. The mag release is really stiff and has like a kind of like a sharp edge to it, so getting in there, you really got to smack it. And that's with all mags that we've used.
We've tried a lot of magazines in this gun, and all of them, you catch it, and you really got to slam it in there. You can't be gentle.
Nope. Other than that, though, we really like this gun. It performs really well. For $350, though, some things need to be flushed out. Mainly the actual piston portion of it not resetting all the time.
Yeah, I think the overspin needs to be sorted out. I think the airsoft spec key mod needs to go. And I think that the battery space could definitely stand to be a little bigger, though people will probably argue with me on that. And the magazine issue, I do think you should just put a little bit of a roundness on the bottom of the magazine catch so you can insert magazines more easily. But other than that, the gun is very well built. I just think those little improvements for a gun for its price point are something that should be made. I think those are things that would really put it up there as a Crytek VFC GMP competitor. I think that would really elevate the gun. It's not perfect as it stands right now, but it's close. Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed this video / review. If you're thinking about buying this, we hope you made we helped you make your purchase decision a little bit easier. Once again, my name is Amy.
And I'm eHouse.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. Check the description below if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a patch, and use the coupon code JUDY10 for 10% off of your next order at Amped Airsoft. Thank you again for watching, and praise Judy.